hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to a video explaining the NCAA SuperCup 64 teams and where they're going to be placed and where they're going to play, in a sense. Now, of course, I completely have forgotten to do the 16 team things, so basically you'll have to bear with me because the live drawings are going to be produced today. Not on video, but on basically audio, because I don't like people to see my ugly mug. So anyway, we'll go through the 64 teams and where they'll play and all that. Now, COVID has actually played a big part in this. I kind of had the idea for the Super Cup before COVID even started, but I never got around to starting until July. So basically, in the way of timeline, I'm gonna set this in COVID times. Now, of course, there'll be people in the stands and all that because obviously I can't do anything about that. So there'll be 16 groups of 4 teams, and basically those 4 teams will play at one stadium. 16 stadiums will be hosting first round matchups, and I'll just try, and then I'm gonna just try to write down certain spots. So there'll be 16 groups. As I said, 16 groups of 4 based on, and there'll be matchups based on what they would be from a 64 team tournament POV, if you will. So yeah, so I'm busy planning that out, trying to make sure that I get numbers right and all that. So yeah, this is basically a live show, if you will. 273. Okay, so all right, so 657 over 6, 58, 59 over 6. Sorry. Yeah, it's hard for me to. I'm doing the numbers right now. The number crunching right now. And no, wait, 35. Sorry. About that. So, oh yeah. So 64 teams have been in. Now the qualification has been like this. Basically, I did the last 64 years tournaments, top 20 AP teams. Basically, the top 20 teams, and then face off against each other. The top 4 teams from each of those years would automatically qualify for the quarterfinals, and then those 16 other teams will go to 8 to 4. So basically, they will be like playing 2 preliminary games to get into the quarterfinals, and then I match them up in the quarterfinals, semis, and finals. If you win that year's tournament, you get 20 points. Second, you get 10. Third, well, if you lose in the semis, you get 7. You lose in the quarters, you get 5. You lose in the second round, you get 3. And if you lose in the first round, you get only 1 point. Your 10 best scores per school count. So basically, we had a lot of schools obviously make it to about 20 or 30 tournaments. But basically, the top 10 team scores would be what would be created. I just realized I screwed up something with my spacing and all that, but I'm sure I can get everything going. I'm on my way. 36. I know I'm missing a number here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 4, 5. Okay, sorry. I just realized what I completely have missed. That doesn't make sense, though. Oh, 61, sorry. Yeah, I gotta write numbers. So you'll probably hear some background music and background sounds. I don't know if you will or not because of how I'm recording right now. So I'm just gonna set up the 16 stadiums and all that. 29, 36, okay, so 5 versus 30. Let's see. 28, sorry. And then 37. Alright. So Hopefully you can hear the background music. But I'll probably just turn it off. Yeah, I'll turn it off. Alright, so I'm going to randomly select stadiums. I'm going to try and get bowl games. So, is it L1? Yeah. So let's see here. Clemson. Okay, so alright, so the first stadium will be Clemson Stadium. And Clemson, did they make the top 64? Sorry, I'm really disorganized here. I thought I had my Clemson. I thought I had my the piece of paper that tells me from 1 to 64. And all that. So no. See here. I thought I had the 1 to 24. And all that. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Wrong piece of paper. Okay, so basically, okay, so Clemson, did they qualify from 1 to 32? That's Clemson did. That's not. I guess not. I thought they did, though. Clemson. Oh, no, sorry. Clemson did. Clemson is the 9 seed based on their points. So Clemson will host a group. So Clemson will host group 4, has the 9th seed. Number 56 is North Carolina. Now I know that they're in the same conference, but in the super team tournament, not the yearly tournament, I would try to prevent teams from the same conference. But because it is the All-Star tournament, that rule's been rescinded. So North Carolina will face Clemson. The number 41 team is Toledo. Toledo got through in the Ladder Cup in the MAC. Clemson, with their points, got the highest point total for an ACC team at number 9. North Carolina had to go through a couple of tourneys. They won a play-in game versus they won a play-in game versus Central Florida to get in. So basically, yeah. And the number 24 seed, based on points, is Michigan. So Michigan got enough points. So North Carolina will play Clemson. Toledo will play Michigan. The winners of those matches will face each other at Death Valley in Clemson. So that's one stadium. Okay, so Nebraska. So Nebraska Stadium just came up on the list. That's the 2 seed. All right, so Nebraska will host in Group 9. So the 2 seed is Nebraska, second most points. They actually were the second team to get to 10 finals. If you get to 10 finals, you automatically get a certain number. And Nebraska was the second team to do that, so they are the 2 seed. They will face number 63, which will be Wyoming. Wyoming had to go through a couple of tournaments. They lost a play-in game against South Florida, but they beat Central Florida to get into the tournament. So Wyoming will face Nebraska. The 34 seed is the Ole Miss Rebels, who won the SEC ladder tournament. So they will play number 31. And points-wise, that's Oklahoma State. So it's going to be Wyoming versus Nebraska, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State. The winner of those matchups will face each other at Nebraska Stadium in Group 9. All right, so let's see. Virginia Tech. UTEP. So, UTEP, the Sun Bowl. Let's see here. 16. So, Group 2 will be playing at the Sun Bowl Stadium at the University of Texas El Paso. I don't think UTEP has qualified, right? Yeah, I don't think UTEP qualified. No, UTEP didn't qualify, so they'll have to. But the Sun Bowl Stadium will be number 6, the 16 seed, that being the Louisiana Monroe team. Louisiana Monroe will, the Indians, I guess they call it. But anyway, no, the Warhawks. Sorry, the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks will host as the 16 seed. They were the Sun Bowl champion. They were the Sun Belt champions, and they were the lowest ranked champion. So they will be the 16th seed. They'll take on number 47. That will be the West Virginia. Yeah, that'll be the West Virginia Mountaineers, who had to win a 3-team pool to get in. So they'll be in. Number 46. The 46th seed will be the. Where are they here? 46 will be the Oregon Ducks. So Oregon will be being number 46. They'll be in the same pod as West Virginia and Monroe. And they'll take on number 17. That would be the Brigham Young Cougars. So Oregon will face BYU in the first round. West Virginia against Louisiana Monroe. The winners of those matchups will meet each other in the Sun Bowl Stadium. Now we go to the EA Sports Stadium. Yeah, it will be the EA Sports Stadium in Carson, California. They will host Group 10. And the top seed is number 15, Southern Mississippi. So they were the top team in the Conference USA thing, so they get number 15. They will face number 50. And the 50 seed will be the Kansas State Wildcats. So the Kansas State Wildcats will be in Group 10. They will play South Miss to start. Number 47 seed. The 47 seed. Oh, I think I messed up the numbers. Oh, I did mess up the numbers. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be the 49 seed that will face Monroe. Sorry, 49. So a switch. Sorry about that. So it'll be South Carolina versus Louisiana Monroe. West Virginia is number 47. They will be in the EA Sports thing. They will take on the 18 seed, which will be Navy, the runner-up team in the American thing. So Navy will face West Virginia. South Miss, Kansas State. That'll be at EA Sports Stadium, and those winners will face each other. Next up, the Motor City Bowl in Detroit, and that will host the 14 seed. If I can find number 14. Where's number 14? 14's supposed to play 3. 14's supposed to play 3. I think, right? I'm sorry, I completely have gaffed it. I think I have got a number twice or something. Yeah, the 4 seed. Okay. So, sorry about that. That would be the 14 seed. Number 51 versus number 14. So, the 14 seed, the top team in the MAC was the Miami, Ohio Redhawks. So, Miami, Ohio will host at the Motor City Bowl. In Group 15, they will take on number 51, which ended up in a 3-team pool, which ended up being please, California. So the California Golden Bears will face Miami, Ohio. The 29th seed was the Washington Huskies. By points, they will take on number 36. That would be Texas Christian, who won the Big 12 ladder tournament. Of course, there were 11 ladder tournaments with the conferences. Whoever scored the most points, like of all those ladder winners, would get the higher seat. The higher points you get in the preliminaries, the better. So Texas Christian will face Washington. Cal versus Miami of Ohio. That would be the Motor City Bowl. And then there is a shot. Canada State. Where's Empire? Because Empire's in this tournament too. So that was number 39. So Group 9 will be playing at the Great NASA Bowl in Plateau, Ontario. That will be a great thing. Our sworn enemies, number 39, Empire State, who beat us in the ladder tournament in the Independence. We were called Independence, so Empire won that. So they get the 39th seed. They are going to face number 26, which will be Georgia, a Georgia Bulldog. So that matchup will be in Canada. and then 26 seed would face number 7 seed in a 32 team tournament. So the 7 seed, which will be the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners. So Oklahoma will be the 7 seed and will play in Pod 11. They will face number 58. That would be the Utah Utes, who had to win a playing game against Eastern Michigan to get in. So Utah will face Oklahoma. Empire State will face Georgia. Those matchups will be at Canada State, and the winner of that goes into the Sweet 16. So the Meineke Bowl. North Carolina made it. Oh no, North Carolina's already in. So the Meineke Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina, they will host Pod 6, and the top team will be number 13 seed, and that will be the Houston Cougars. So the Houston Cougars winning the top spot in the American Conference in the Weather 10 tournament. So basically, Houston's in. They will face number 52, which will be the SMU Rebels. No, the SMU Mustangs. Normally, Houston and SMU would avoid each other because of conference affiliations, but because this is the Super Tournament, this is the all-time tournament, they will meet each other. So the 13 seed would meet the number 20 seed in a normal 32-team tournament, and the 20 seed happens to be the Ohio Bobcats. So the Ohio University Bobcats were the lowest ranked of the top two of the 20 seeds that were in the top two in their conferences at the start. They will face number 45. They will face number 45, that being Tennessee. So the Tennessee Foles will face the Ohio Bobcats. SMU will face Houston. The winner of those matchups will be meeting at the Meineke Bowl in the final, in the pod final. But what about the overall number 1 seed, Alabama? Well, Alabama will host their own pod. They're the 1 seed. They're the first team to get to 10 finals, so they will host the 64th team. The last team to get in were the North Texas Mean Green, who, despite only making 1 finals appearance, actually took down Marshall in a last chance game to move on. So North Texas will face Bama. Number 32 seed is the UCLA Bruins. So they got lucky. They got the points total that didn't make them go to the ladder cups, and they will face number 33 Wisconsin, who actually won the 2019 tournament, but didn't get enough points to qualify. So they had to go through the Big Ten ladder, and they won. So Wisconsin will face UCLA. North Texas will play Bama. Those will be in Bama. All right, so let's see. The 8th, so in pod number 3 will be in Stanford. So the Stanford group will play. The 8th seed being the Stanford Cardinal. They were the best team out of the Pac-10 by points. Well, it's actually the second best team, but they will host their own pod. They'll face number 57, that means Oregon State. Now, as we said, normally we wouldn't see Oregon State Stanford in the first few rounds, but because this is the all-time tournament they can play, Oregon State did beat Virginia Tech to move on. So it's Oregon State Stanford. Number 40 is Fresno, who won the Mountain West ladder tournament. They will face number 25 Auburn, who got in by points. So Oregon State will face Stanford. Fresno versus Auburn. The winner. Well, that's the Stanford pod. That is the Stanford pod. The Stanford pod. All right, so we got the Holiday Bowl. All right, so the Holiday Bowl just popped up, so that will be pod number 16. So the USC was the 5 seed based on points, so they will host at the Holiday Bowl. They will face number 60, South Florida, who had to beat Wyoming to get into this tournament. So South Florida will play SC in one group. Number 37 seed was the winner of the ACC ladder tournament, that being Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech will face number 28 by points. That would be the Pitt Panthers. So Georgia Tech will face Pitt. As we said, they wouldn't face each other normally, but because this is a super tournament, they don't have conference affiliations don't have to worry. So Georgia Tech will face Pitt. South Florida will play SC. That will be at the Holiday Bowl. All right, so we got a few more pods to go, I think. And that will be the 4 seed. I mean Florida. So the Florida Gators will host Pod 5. They were the 4 seed overall. They almost got to 10 finals. They will face number 61, that being Tulsa. Tulsa did beat North Texas to get there. Of course, North Texas took care of Marshall to qualify, but Tulsa will now take on Florida. The 36 seed was the winner of the Big 12. That's Texas Christian. That doesn't make sense, though. I apologize. I think I gaffed it. Oh, shoot. I did gaff it. It was supposed to... Sorry, the Motor City Bowl was supposed to be 19 versus 46. So TCU Washington will be moved to Florida. So Tulsa will face Florida. And then TCU Washington will go to Florida with the Tulsa Florida group. I completely gaffed. On the Motor City group, number 46 versus 19. It's supposed to be 46 versus 19. My apologies. The 46 seed is... My glasses here. Where are the 46? Right? Would be Oregon. Can't be, right? Oh, I completely goofed. So Oregon. Oh, my mistake. I completely made a mistake. The Sun Bowl. BYU is not supposed to play Oregon. They're supposed to play number 48. That would be Baylor. So Baylor will face BYU in the Sun Bowl group. Oregon gets shifted over as 46 seed to the Motor City Bowl, number 19. Based on top 2 spots, Colorado State. So Colorado State and Oregon will be moved to the Motor City Bowl with Cal and Miami, Ohio. Texas Christian, Washington, they will face... The winner will face Tulsa, Florida. That's the Gainesville group. I apologize. I went the wrong way. All right. Time for the Armed Forces Bowl. I think Navy. Navy's coming. Damn. Army didn't qualify. Air Force, I think, qualified, right? I think Air Force qualified, didn't they? Yeah, Air Force qualified as the 59 seed. So Air Force qualified as the 59 seed. They will be in the Armed Forces Bowl. So Navy should be happy. So the Air Force, because they qualified, well, Navy qualified, but they've already been locked into the EA Sports Stadium. So the Air Force is 59. They beat Marshall to get there. They will face the 6 seed, that being the Texas Longhorns. So Air Force will take on Texas at the Armed Forces Bowl. And then it's 38 versus 27. I believe, right? Yeah, number 38 seed was the winner of the American Conference ladder. That would be the Cincinnati Bearcats. And then number 27 is Arkansas. So Arkansas will face Cincy, Air Force, and Texas. So that should be interesting. Pods. We have, how many more pods? 4 more pods to go. And this pod will be at Michigan State University. Oh, did I gaff it again? You'll see. I did 60 versus... Oh, nuts. I think I completely goofed up. Okay, so I don't know what happened, but I think I gaffed up again. Okay, so I'm gonna have to change some pod numbers. I have to change some numbers here. This is the effect of live television and all that, huh? Through the magic of live television, I have completely gaffed it. We're supposed to play 14. Okay, so 7, 8. 8 should be there. Okay. I'm sorry, I have to take a look. 1, 16, 8, 9, 4, 13, 5, 12, 2, 14, 3. 3 is there, 4 is there, 5 is there. 6. There's 7. 10 is there, 9 is there, 10 is there. Number 11. 11. Oh, but oh, geez, I didn't do the 11 seed. So I got to make some quick numerical changes. 22, 43. All right. So the 11 seed will be playing in the one at Michigan State. So MSU will host a group. Number 11 seed would be Notre Dame. So the Fighting Irish. So the Fighting Irish will host at Michigan State University, which is weird because MSU is a rival. They'll take on the 54 seed that came out of the 3-team tournaments, that being Central Michigan. So CMU will take on Notre Dame. The 43 seed was the worst ladder winner, and that was the Sun Belt champion, Western Kentucky. Sorry, Conference USA champion, Western Kentucky. They will face number 22, LSU. So in Michigan State, Central Michigan will play Notre Dame. Western Kentucky will play LSU. 3 pods left. The Independence Bowl. Let's see here. I'm just trying to think where to put it. Well, it'll be group number 13. So I know the 3 seed is Ohio State, and they're not happy, but the Independence Bowl will host the pods. So Ohio State will host Pod 13, at the Independence Bowl. They will face number 62, that being Virginia Tech, who had to win a last-ditch game against Eastern Michigan to qualify. So Virginia Tech will face Ohio State. Man, Virginia Tech's had a bad drop. Number 35 was the winner of the Pac-10 ladder tournament, that being Colorado. They'll take on number 30 by points, which was Missouri. So Colorado will face Missouri. Wow, that's a big rivalry. Virginia Tech will take on Ohio State. 2 more pods to go. The Texas Bowl. The Outback Bowl, you think? I'm thinking the Outback Bowl. All right, so the Outback Bowl will host one of the pods, the 10 seed, that being Florida State, because they won a game in Tampa, I think. And they didn't think about the Cap 1 Bowl because that's like a top tier one. They'll take on number 55, who are the Western Michigan Broncos. So Western Michigan will take on Florida State. The 42 seed was the winner of the Sun Belt ladder tournament. That's App State. They'll take on number 23, who got in on points, Penn State University. So that should be interesting. Western Michigan will play FSU, App State against Penn State, and then there's one more to go. One more bracket. That would be the New Mexico Bowl. So New Mexico will host a pod. Pod 8, the top team from there is the 12th seed. That would be the Boise State Broncos, who were the best team in the Mountain West. They'll take on number 53. That will be the Indiana Hoosiers, who surprised a lot of people by winning their pod and moving on. They're 3-team group to move on. They'll take on number 44, which will be the Miami Hurricanes, and number 21, Iowa. So that's it. So basically, we've got that underway. We've done that. We've done that. Yeah. Delete the background noise. All right. So this is how it's going to go. Pod 1 is at the University of Alabama. North Texas will face Bama, and Wisconsin will face UCLA. The winners of those matchups will meet for the Group 1 championship. Pod 2 is the Sun Bowl. Will be the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. South Carolina will face Louisiana Monroe, and Baylor will face BYU. The winners of those matchups will meet in the final. Group 3 is at Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. Oregon State will face Stanford. Fresno will take on Auburn. In Clemson, at Clemson Stadium, UNC in Group 4, UNC will face Clemson. Toledo will face Michigan. Those winners will meet. Group 5 at the University of Florida in Gainesville, the Gators will host Tulsa. Texas Christian will face Washington. Group 6 at the Meineke Bowl in Charlotte, SMU faces Houston. Tennessee versus the Ohio University Bobcats. Group 7 at Michigan State University, Central Michigan takes on Notre Dame. Western Kentucky will take on LSU. That's Group 16. I changed that. Group 8 at the New Mexico Bowl, Indiana will face Boise. Miami will take on Iowa. Group 9 in Nebraska, Nebraska will host Wyoming. Oklahoma State will face Ole Miss. Of course, both games will be at Nebraska, and the winners of those will face each other at University of Nebraska Stadium. Group 10, K-State takes on South Miss, whereas West Virginia will take on Navy. Group 11 at Canada State, Utah will take on Oklahoma. Empire will take on Georgia. Group 12, the Outback Bowl, Western Michigan takes on Florida State. App State takes on Penn State. Group 13 at the Independence Bowl, Virginia Tech takes on OSU. Colorado takes on Missouri. Group 14 is Air Force versus Texas at the Air Force Bowl. Cincinnati takes on Arkansas. Group 7 is the Holiday Bowl. South Florida takes on SC. Georgia Tech takes on Pitt. And finally, Group 15, Motor City Bowl, Cal, Miami, Ohio versus, and then Oregon, Colorado State. So that's all you should know. Hopefully, things get off to a better movement and all that than this live reaction show. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day.